Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire allotment adventures on what is a cold, dampish morning here on the allotment. We've had about 5 or 6 days of glorious sunshine. Been really nice, but today the temperature's definitely dropped. I came down to today's allotment. I thought I'm going to sow some peas outside. Well, not just sow, but transplant them. So I've got all those pea plants. So I'm working on a little area near the covered greenhouse, and it's too cold to put them out, even though I'm going to cover them and they will be fleeced and netted. I think it's just too early. So I have to start bringing them out slowly and then popping them back in and let them get used to this weather, because it's still up and down. Anyway, welcome to the show. Sit back, relax, put your feet up, have a cuppa. Welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire allotment adventures. As I said in the start of the video, I was going to sow some peas and transplant peas outside, but I think it's just a little too cold. The temperature's rapidly dropped. It was 14, 15 degrees last week. Sunshine is lovely, but today it's not. I think it's probably 5, 6 degrees. There's a little breeze, it's quite chilly, and although it's still nice, the birds are just about singing. They're probably wondering why all the lovely sunshine's gone. I'm on construction mode. I thought I might as well build this. I bought 3 of these last year. 2 are on the bank, as I said, and well, this one I'm going to put down here. I've got loads of twigs and sticks and branches I can pop in the bottom. Then I can pop some more used soil, so I've got plenty knocking around from the bank. That can go in. Then we'll top this with compost. This will be a really good growing feature here because it gets the sun. So again, we can work out what we need and we can pop it in there. It's nice to have some raised beds. But soon I need to start clearing because my potatoes need to go in, and so I need to get that soil ready for the potatoes. I'm really looking forward to this season. It's going to be a good one, I think, because most of the seeds I've sown are coming up already. Isn't that fantastic? Brilliant stuff. Well, I've completed my raised bed, and here's the photograph to prove it. Inside I've just got lots and lots of branches and twigs at the bottom. I've filled that up, got some straw in there as well, some compost, and there's leaf mould down at the bottom and lots of used soil already, but I put that in and then it's ready to be topped up with brand new compost. So what's great about that position actually is because it's a metal container, the sun's on that side most of the morning, so it'll get lots of heat, which will warm the soil really nicely. Because of course it's still very frosty here at the moment in Yorkshire. It was really nice last week. This week's dropped, temperatures plummeted in fact. But that'll keep the soil nice and warm. Now I'm here next to my covered greenhouse and I built a little frame, as you can see. I've got 2 troughs down here filled with compost at the moment, warming up to be able to put the plants in. I've got some fleece ready to cover these, so there's my fleece because they're not going to be planted just yet. I'm going to get 2 more here at this side as well. Possibly even 3, but I think 2 would do it nicely. I've got lots of other, concertinaed fencing, hedgings. I don't know what it is. Anyway, what do you call it? Concertinaed, yeah, support. Should we use that word? Concertinaed support. I'm sure it's sometimes, you know, I'm having too much fun here and I can't think. And anyway, so I built that. I fastened it up. This is utilising actually an old greenhouse, one of those plastic ones that are just collapsed. So I need to cut these off at the bottom because they're sticking out a bit long, but they are giving it a nice support. I've got some more of these corners and things, so we'll be able to extend the frame that way. We're talking peas now. This is going to be a wall of peas here. And I've got some peas, as you know, quite a few, and they've all come up this year, which is fantastic. Last year, dreadful. Now, normally when I have had peas in the past, I let them grow between 6 and 8 inches. Some people say you can put them out about 4 inches, but I like them to be a bit longer, and then they're really well established. Obviously, this is at the moment, let's have a look, roughly about 6 inches tall, a bit longer when you use a little climbing, because once that little end piece here, that's the one that will fasten itself to this frame, and it will hold on to that. If this is too big, I've actually got some netting as well that I can actually put in front of here, and they will really love that to grow up here. These can be planted between 2 and 4 inches apart, which means actually in this one tray alone, believe it or not, start at one end, I could have, was it about 10 peas in here? Because this is 24 inches wide, roughly. Although I probably won't have that many. I'll probably have about probably about 6 maybe, to give them plenty of room to grow. And they grow up here with a wall of peas. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, got to make sure the soil's warm, especially if you're planting pea seeds at this time, directly into soil. There needs to be between 10 and 15 degrees because they just won't germinate. If it's too cold in the soil, then they just won't come up, they won't even bother germinating. If you are doing that, sowing direct into ground, put some cover over this, get it warmed up, and then you can hopefully generate your peas direct from the ground. I'm lucky, mine have come up in the greenhouse. What I will start doing now is opening the greenhouse door to let some of the cold air in. I might even bring some out on trays, leave them out of cold air and pop them back at night time. So they're not affected by frost, but they get used to the lower temperatures. They'll probably come out next week, depending on the temperatures. And as I say, I'll just keep bringing them out, bringing them out, bringing them out. And they'll love it. It's really, really nice. It's great actually talking about seedlings. My tomatoes I've transplanted. And they're now up to their little leaves on the top. In fact, here's a photograph of that. And it's great because, as I said, they've got lovely hairs on their stems. In fact, here's a photograph and we'll zoom in. And so you can see it's really, really hairy and furry. And all those little silvery lines coming off the stem can become roots. And if you do that, then get it right up with it. That means you get lots of good root structure to help support your tomatoes when you're growing them on. When they get bigger, if you get talking to this stage and you're putting them into pots and things, you can very carefully, or even to soil, you can bend, but don't break them, obviously, it's a risk. You bend the stalks. So say if this is your stalk, you could bend it like that and put this part in the ground here, and then the tomatoes will grow up again this side. Again, establishing a bigger, better root system. More water in tomatoes, the juicier your tomatoes will be. Fantastic, isn't it? And when we get onto tomatoes, we'll talk more about them. Direct water to the roots. You can do that in many, many ways. Don't spray the leaves because they don't like it. And also it can get leaf rot and all those things and get lots of diseases from it. They like it down the bottom in the soil. You can put plastic bottles in next to them and water direct into that. Anyway, we'll look at that in the next coming weeks. So yes, peas, a fleece and a frame for them to climb up. Getting ready is very exciting. I thought I'd get myself a cuppa for this last segment. Cheers. Bye, that's nice. Just sort of finish off with the peas. Obviously, you can even still now put peas in, the seed, the pea themselves. Some people put peas in water overnight just so to get them going. Some people just sow direct. You can obviously sow direct to the soil now, but you need to make sure the soil's warm. As I said in the earlier piece, they don't like it cold and they won't germinate. So if you put them in the soil, warm the soil up, cover the soil, and you'll have happy peas forever on end. Now, peas aren't very good at companion planting with onions, or should I say the alum family, so you're talking onions, garlic and chives. They don't do well, they don't thrive. Scientists seem to, something goes on, some sort of enzyme somewhere, and it prevents them from producing quite a lot of peas. So keep your onions well away, or your alum family, should I say. So that's your garlic, your chives and your onions. Keep them away from your peas and have a successful pea harvest. Luckily, in this greenhouse here, now I've got my new plastic door on, the temperature's really risen and it's really helping my seeds. I seem to have planted about 50, I don't know why, sunflowers of all different varieties, and they're coming up nicely now. I've also got some butternut squash in, and here's a photograph. There's 2 butternut squash at the moment. Fingers crossed we'll get some more. I really enjoyed those, growing those years ago in this greenhouse actually. And here they are. Look at the size of those. They're magnificent, aren't they? And well, they sound lovely. So we need to get those in the house, and well, we can start doing something with them. What I'm going to do this year, I'm going to grow them on this back wall. Get some supports up, so they can grow up the supports, because as I said, this gets full sun most of the summertime, and I might even put a little frame around it just in case they need that extra boost. And well, let's see if we can grow some successful butternut squash outside. That would be nice, wouldn't it? So yeah, sunflowers and butternut squash. And it's great to see actually that the French tarragon is coming back really strongly as well. In fact, funny enough, I've had a few pieces off when I was cooking the other day. It's very young, very immature, so the flavour's still not developed fully. But it was really nice. Added a great flavour to the dish. So lots of things happening. I hope you're growing lots of magnificent things. It's this time of year that's scary actually, isn't it? Because everything shoots up and you think, oh, what am I going to do? Well, what we have to do is breathe. I'm having to breathe because the weather's changed, although the sun has just come out, and where I'm sat here, it's glorious. However, standing over the other side of the allotment, it's absolutely freezing because that's where it's very windy at the moment. And the chill factor drags everything down. Cup of tea time. Well, once again, thanks for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures, and I'll see you next time here, hopefully on a very sunny allotment. Ta-ra for now.